let's get this party started. Okay, I got my starter clock going, so I have a few minutes to just make sure that I have everything set up. I just finished my walk. It's 6:05, so don't think I'm doing too bad. Anyway, and I know my schedule says Night of the Seven Kingdoms is Tuesdays, but this one week we're going to do it on Sunday because it was aired a little bit earlier than usual because of the Super Bowl. I do not participate in Super Bowl Sunday, except for to have chili. We used to watch the commercials and halftime shows. Sometimes we'll go back and look for them, but we don't really even pay attention to that anymore because it's just all a big pain in the butt. Anyway, we don't watch it for the football, so we just watch it for the entertainment. And we don't really consider football that entertaining, which I know is very different from a lot of Americans, but not this one. Anyway, let's go ahead and try to get a chat posted on here. Chat. That. Right. I should probably double check my mic and make sure it's the right one. It most likely is, but I can't guarantee that. Let me turn my mic a little bit too. Alright. Because I don't really keep my mic up in front of my face, so it's like off to the side a little bit, so I try to tilt it towards me. So anyway, let's put a chat message. Alright, now let's see if it goes through. My Handmaid's Tale one, the first one went through. I think it usually seems to be a matter of if I give it enough time. And I gave it enough time and it popped in, so looks like it's doing what it's supposed to. I'm going to back out of the video. I mean, I suppose I could leave it on there just in case I need to send a chat, but honestly I can actually chat on here, I think. Oh no, I can't, because it says to sign in to chat. It'll just make me open it on the browser. So let's do it again then. Open it, pause it. So I will have it open in case I need to send a chat through my regular account. Need to do anything else? I kind of wish that I could mess around with my other scenes while the starting screen is playing without you guys being able to see what's going on behind the scenes, but no, it's pretty much the clock will start over if I do that, and you'll be able to see everything I'm doing, so oh no, I left my water. It's terrible. So terrible. We've got one more minute left, and then we'll get started with this live stream. Gonna go over the gist of the episode, kind of what happened, like what the main idea was, what was going on. I have 3 trailers. They are all very short though, so don't despair. They're not going to take very long. I have not watched them. And then I have my VIP for the episode, my piece of shit for the episode, favorite scene and least favorite scene. And then I also, if I decide to get up at some point, I have something to play for intermission. How long is it? I think it's like 5 minutes.
Sir Arlen of Petty Tree.
No. Okay. So yeah, it's 5 and it's 6 minutes technically. Okay, let's get on live scene. All right. So I have a video for intermission. So if I need to get up and go to the restroom or get some food or get my water that I left in the kitchen. Sir Arlen's True Identity, Legacy, and Fate, A Knight of the Seven Kingdoms. So this is content creation by another channel, Script Breakdown. I will try to put a link in my description later on, not right this very moment. But yeah, it's 5 minutes 55 seconds, but that will be later on. Right now, I'm going to do the gist of the episode. Then we'll watch a trailer or three, and then I have my VIP and piece of shit, favorites, least favorites, all of that. All right, let's go ahead and get started. The gist of the episode. So, we know the previous episode, Dunk had decked the fucking prince, and the prince was like, I'm gonna break out your teeth. Gonna, like, why would you throw your life away on this? Yeah, he called her not a nice thing because he's not a nice person. He's a piece of shit. But, yeah, things are not looking good for Dunk. Luckily, Egg did jump in and save him at least from getting his grill all fucked up. Like, he was going to break his teeth on the fucking stage. That was just appalling. Anyway, he is not in a good position, and when we start the episode, he is basically being held in a stone cell. And, yeah, the episode is going over what is going to happen. How are people going to punish him? How is he going to be punished for this? What sides are people going to take in this scenario? What are the other family members in this Targaryen family member doing when it comes to how he's going to be punished? What stance they're taking, that kind of thing. Yeah, and by the end of the episode, we get that he is gonna have he opts to do a trial by combat, and that is at the urging of I think it was Baelon Targaryen. Baelon suggests to him, like, you if you are the knight that you say you are, if you are a good knight, you know, everything else is stacked against you. You don't have a chance in any other way. So this is your only option, is to opt for a trial by combat. And if you've watched Game of Thrones, think back when Tyrion was in all kinds of freaking trouble and he was being held in those sky cells, and he ended up opting for a trial by combat. This one is different, though, because after he opted for a trial by combat, Aerion, the piece of crap, he's like, oh, well, I refuse. I'm not going to do it. And his family looks at him like he's completely insane, growing 3 heads, and they're like, you can't fucking refuse. Like, these are ancient rites. You need to fucking do what you're supposed to do. And I was like, yeah, because Aerion's a fucking coward. And so, yeah. All right. Well, anyway, Aerion decides, okay, if you're going to make me do combat, because I'm a cowardly piece of shit, I'm going to insist on Trial of the Seven. Trial of the Seven. So 7 freaking knights fighting each other to make a decision, supposedly according to the gods. You know, the 7, so this is very religious shit. The trial of the 7, the 7-pointed star, it's all this religious stuff. And I mean, frankly, the Seven has caused all kinds of turmoil in Westeros since the Targaryens came into play. But I wonder if they were not already causing all kinds of turmoil before the Targaryens came into play, because they seem like they got their fucking morals all screwed up, like a lot of extremist religion. Anyway, the trial of the Seven, they're gonna have 7 knights on each side fighting against each other to determine who's the guilty party and who's innocent, basically. It's like the gods are making the decision, at least in their view. This is indication. Whoever wins, that means the gods have spoken that these are the innocent and the ones that lose are guilty. So anyway, craziness. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and we'll play the first trailer. Okay, let's go into watch, and it is not this one that's showing. It is this one. This is A Night of the Seven Kingdoms episode 5 trailer from HBO. Well, it says Trailer Pro Pictures, but it says HBO on it. Now,
this is my moment to fight. My chance to honor the old man's legacy.
Trial of 7.
Who will stand and fight with me?
I stand as a true knight, bound by honor, not fear.
okay, I wonder if it isn't Trailer Pro Pictures actually like took some of the trailer and pieced that together.
Patrick Mahomes is fast.
All right, let's stop that. Now, that was this one. Next is this one. Okay, A Night of the Seven Kingdoms, episode 5. New trailer in the name
I need to
of the
fight
Lord.
honorably. But sometimes I think I buried my courage alongside the old man.
This city is too small for us, Dunk. I never got nothing by waiting around.
And so, I ask you again, how good a knight are you?
I always knew you meant trouble.
Look at that. He's just like covered in blood. Nice. Okay, so that one looks pretty interesting. We get a little bit of flashback.
Now that we've all
from,
seen episode 4 of The Dunk and Egg Show,
back
I want to
over
look
there.
ahead
I
at
do
what
watch a
will
lot of
happen during
Talking
arguably
Thrones.
one of the most epic
It
moments
is
in all of
stopping.
Westeros.
I forgot it. Like auto opens. Sometimes when I click on the links, they open in the same browser window, but lately it's been just opening in separate tabs. Anyway, yeah, like we got a couple flashbacks or from the previous episode, because that was Baelor asking him, like, what kind of knight are you? Like, are you a good knight? Because he's like, you gotta be able to fucking fight. You gotta be able to take this shit down, because otherwise your cause is lost. So yeah, and then we saw lots of fighting, and we saw lots of blood all over Dunk at the end of that trailer. All right, I got one more trailer to play, and then we're gonna go through my favorites and least favorites. Okay, I think it is this one. No, I don't want to do it through Reddit. I don't like Reddit. That's Reddit too. It might be this one. It says 18 seconds. That doesn't sound right. Ugh. Night of the Seven Kingdoms, episode 5. Those are both Reddit. I mean, I suppose I can just stop it. I don't hear anything. You know what? This isn't gonna show up right. This is so annoying. Okay, let me... There's got to be another fucking way. Because I know... See, it's like it got mixed up. I thought I had kept this... This is not the one that was there. This is so annoying. I had it all set up right, and now it's fucking gone. What the heck? That has Jon Snow on it. It's so frustrating. I had it. These are not the right trailers. Okay. Alright, y'all. I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to use this freaking Reddit thing. I do not like using Reddit, which I already said that. But I'm going to use the Reddit one. I'm going to just try to get it properly sized on here. So, just bear with me. Stop that. I'm gonna do this and is it? Yeah, see, that's huge. This is why I don't like doing this. I really, like, it was all set up. I had the proper freaking trailer in the right place, and now it's, like, out of order. It's because I turned my stupid computer off. This is not right. I turned my computer off, so when it reloaded the list, it probably loaded it out of order. Such a pain in my backside. Really? Oh my god. See, all this stuff is stuff that I would usually do and take care of before I ever get on here. But no, it's all freaking messed up now. Ugh. This is just so messed up. So if I expand the window like I have it now to where it's the size of my computer, then this whole window has to be resized, repositioned, retrimmed, because it's not fucking right. This is so annoying. Whereas before it was set for the size of a regular YouTube video. And it was already fucking trimmed. It was already in position. Pardon my language. I cuss a lot, especially when I'm irritated, and I am irritated right now. So, all freaking set for YouTube videos because they were all YouTube videos. And this is only like freaking 45 seconds. Like, come on. All right, let's go ahead and watch this trailer. And let's put that on.
This city is too small for us, Dunk. Let's go someplace else. Don't lose your nerve now.
Okay, so a flashback to when he was a kid.
May the seven bear witness to our solemn and bloody offering. May they reveal the guilty in their falseness and find the truth. May the warrior grant victory to the innocent.
Be vigilant. Don't die.
All right. So, all of that, and we finally got to watch the trailer. You guys. Oh my goodness. Okay, let's go back to the live scene. So, all right. So now that that's done, and I've gotten through all the headaches of trying to reformat the size of my screen to fit the full freaking monitor, basically, let's go ahead and get on with some of my favorites and least favorites. Okay. So, VIP for the episode, Baelor Targaryen. This dude, like, the whole time, like every time we've seen him, he's been a pretty just upstanding guy, like down to earth, yet still like he listens to people. He has an understanding for what it means to be a true leader and to really like listen to your people and give them a chance and be honest and upstanding. And like he's the one that basically gives Dunk a warning. Like when he's asking you, what kind of knight are you? You know, he is pushing, he's needling for him to understand that you have to be good at fighting. You have to be skilled at fighting or you're done. Because none of your options are any good. And he made it very clear to him. It took him a little bit of prodding, but he got it through to him. And that wasn't something that just any Targaryen leader would do. That was something that he did because he's being a good, upstanding person. And then the end of the freaking episode, when Dunk is trying to get people on his side, like he has everybody he needs except for one person. He needs one more knight. He freaking pleads to the crowd, and nobody in the crowd freaking takes him seriously. Like some big guy gets up and farts. At least I'm assuming he was farting. My husband said he was shitting his pants, but I say he was farting. Either way, he was like joking around about it, making a big joke of it, and nobody was taking him up. So then, okay, and at that point, I believe he finds out that he has 5 people, because my piece of shit of the episode, the Turncloak, fucking Stefan Fossaway, he had said he was going to fight for Dunk, and he fucking turns cloak and switches to the other side because they offered him a lordship. So by that point, he's down to 5 people, and I can't remember the kid's name, but the other Fossaway is like really fucking pissed that Stefan freaking turned cloak like that, is like, fucking knight me. I will fight for you. And of course, you know, I think we know that Dunk likely has not been knighted, and so he doesn't feel comfortable with this, and he's trying to avoid it without just straight up saying that he hasn't been knighted. Luckily, Baratheon's like, look, I will go and knight him. You take care of this other thing that's going on because somebody shows up at the gate, and I will knight him, and you handle this. Well, what is this that he needs to handle? Coming through the gates is Lord Baratheon. Or not Baratheon, Balon Targaryen. Balon Targaryen comes through there and he's like, I'm gonna fight for you. I will fight for you. So now he's got his 6, and with the other Fossaway, he's got 7. He's got his 7. Like, this is like a last minute thing. Nobody else is standing up for him. And Balon, who is a Targaryen, decides that he is going to fight with him despite the fact that it's against his family. I truly believe that deep down in his heart, he knows that his family is on the wrong side of history, that what they did was wrong, and that what Dunk did is exactly what he was supposed to do as a knight, and he sees that as being the just thing to do. So, yeah, that was my VIP for the episode, definitely. And piece of shit was the Turncloak. Fucking Stefan Fossaway. Like, playing a good game or whatever, that he was going to fight against these Targaryens, but as soon as they offer him a lordship, all of a sudden, oh no, he's fine with the Targaryens, he's gonna go fight for them, and like all the fucking shit talking that he had before is just, it's all empty words. It's all empty words. Okay. My favorite scene in the episode, when Egg's basically wishing his brother dead. Like, they're like, you really want to squire Dunk when he's going on trial against your family. You understand that this could result in your brother dying. Like, you understand that. And he's like, look, dude, when I was little, this guy would fucking get up in my bed with his fucking blade to my junk and threaten to turn me into his sister or threaten to kill me. Like, yeah, I'm ready for him to die if needs be. Let him die. So yeah, that was my favorite scene. Him just being like, not like the last episode. He's like, I shaved my head because I don't want to fucking look like you. And then this episode, he's like, yeah, you know, he's been fucking threatening me with death since I was little. I think if he dies in this situation, okay, I think I can live with that. So yeah, that was my favorite episode. Or my favorite scene, not my favorite episode. All right, least favorite. My least favorite scene in this episode was the very, very beginning. I've watched the episode twice now, and both times couldn't hear anything. All you see is the opening, basically the where Dunk is being held, like the front of where he's being held, big stone cave or something like that, with a big stone in front of it, closing him in. And it's just kind of very, very slowly zooming in or panning to the door. I don't remember exactly. And it's very quiet. If there's any sound on there, I didn't hear it at all. Not either time. Not when I was watching it on my big TV, and not when I was in here. And I thought that one of my earbuds was not working, but I think it was just that it was so quiet I couldn't hear. So yeah, I did not like that. It was very dark. It was very hard to see what what was going on until they got all the way to where you could see the round stone in the door. And I didn't hear anything. I just thought, like, they could have at least played some background sound or music, something to kind of build up the emotions in the situation, and maybe made it a little clearer what it might have been looking at before you got to where you could see the big round stone. It just seemed, I'm like, what are we looking at? Just a big old blob of fucking black and brown stuff? But I don't know what it is. Like, at first it reminded me of when they kind of either zoom in or zoom out really slowly on a wood line from above. But I could tell pretty quickly that it was not a wood line. But yeah, I didn't like that. I didn't like that scene. Now, one additional thing. I really did enjoy some of the awesome armor that that various people were wearing. The Targaryens, the Balon. And honestly, even though Dunk did not seem to like his shield very much, I liked it. I like the design on it. I think it's pretty good. Anyway, let's go ahead. I'm going to go ahead and put on this intermission. Oh, excuse me. No, it should be right here. Okay, so this is Sir Arlen's True Identity, The Legacy and Fate of a Knight of the Seven Kingdoms. And it looks like I need to adjust my chat some more, because it's like it's not as hard to read as when I first started doing these streams, but it still looks kind of squished up. But I'll worry about that later. Let's go ahead and watch
The Forgotten Knight who shaped Westeros' greatest hero. When A Knight of the Seven Kingdoms opens, it doesn't start with kings, dragons, or epic battles. It starts with a dead man on the side of the road. No banners, no witnesses, no songs. Just a hedge knight named Sir Arlen of Pennytree, gone quietly from the world and almost from history. And yet, if you pay close attention, episode 2 makes something very clear. Without Sir Arlen of Pennytree, there is no Sir Duncan the Tall. And without Dunk, Westeros itself changes. So today I want to slow everything down and ask the real question this episode is asking beneath the surface. Who was Sir Arlen of Pennytree really? Was he a failed knight, or one of the most important knights Westeros ever produced? Sir Arlen's origins, a knight without a house. The first thing we need to understand is that Sir Arlen was never meant to be famous. He wasn't born into a great house. He didn't inherit land. He didn't command banners. Sir Arlen was what Westeros dismissively calls a hedge knight, a knight who owns no land and survives by moving from place to place, offering his sword, entering tournaments, and taking short-term service wherever he can find it. That already puts him near the bottom of the knightly hierarchy. But Sir Arlen had something many knights didn't. He was legitimate. Prince Baelor Breakspear confirms this in episode 2. Not vaguely, not kindly, but factually. He remembers Sir Arlen. He remembers his deeds. And most importantly, he remembers that Sir Arlen never shamed himself. That single line tells us everything. Sir Arlen and the Blackfire Rebellion. Here's where the deep research matters. Sir Arlen fought in the First Blackfire Rebellion, on the side of King Daeron II Targaryen, the lawful king. That war wasn't just another skirmish. It nearly tore the Seven Kingdoms apart. Daemon Blackfire had the sword of Aegon the Conqueror. He had charisma. He had powerful houses backing him. Many knights, better knights than Arlen, chose the wrong side. Sir Arlen did not. He fought under Lord Hayford, one of Daeron's most loyal commanders. That means Sir Arlen wasn't just present. He was trusted enough to fight beneath a banner that mattered. This instantly destroys the idea that Arlen was some nobody swinging steel for coin. He was a knight who stood for legitimacy, stability, and law, values that George R.R. Martin consistently frames as difficult, unpopular, but necessary. The Grey Lion moment, why it matters. Prince Baelor's test of Dunk is crucial. He asks about the Grey Lion, a knight Sir Arlen once unhorsed. That knight was Sir Daemon Lannister, now Lord of Casterly Rock. Let that sink in. Sir Arlen of Pennytree, the man who died penniless, once knocked a future Lord of Casterly Rock off his horse in a tourney. That is not nothing. That is proof that Arlen had skill, had courage, and had moments of greatness. But here's the tragedy. Moments are not legacies. Sir Arlen never turned moments into momentum. Why Sir Arlen never became a champion. This is where episode 2 becomes quietly devastating. Dunk begins the episode praising his master. By the end, he's questioning him. Not because Arlen was cruel, not because he was dishonorable, but because he never rose, he never won the tourney, never earned land, never built a name. And Martin is very intentional here. Sir Arlen represents the knight who believes in the idea of knighthood but is unable or unwilling to play the political, ruthless game required to thrive. In Westeros, honor without ambition is often a dead end. Did Sir Arlen ever knight Dunk? This is the most uncomfortable question, and the show quietly hints at the answer. There is no confirmation that Arlen ever formally knighted Dunk. No witnesses, no ceremony, no vows spoken on screen. And remember, any knight can make a knight, but they still have to actually do it. It's very possible, even likely, that Arlen intended to knight Dunk and never got around to it. Not out of cruelty, out of hesitation, out of self-doubt. Because what does it mean to make someone a knight if you secretly believe you failed at being one yourself? Sir Arlen's true livelihood. Teacher, not champion. Here's the shift most viewers miss. Sir Arlen's legacy is not his armor, not his sword, not his record. His legacy is Dunk. He took in a nameless orphan from Flea Bottom. He fed him, he taught him, he raised him. He instilled values, not victory. And those values outlive him. Dunk doesn't remember Arlen as a great warrior. He remembers him as a good man. In Martin's world, that distinction matters. The irony of knighthood. George R. R. Martin has always been suspicious of perfect knights, and Sir Arlen embodies that skepticism. He looks like a knight, acts like a knight, believes in knighthood, but the world does not reward him for it. Instead, his squire surpasses him, not by rejecting Arlen's lessons, but by completing them. Sir Arlen versus Westerosi Knighthood Episode 2 constantly asks, what makes a knight? Is it ceremony, armor, reputation, victory? Sir Arlen had none of those by the end, but he had something rarer, consistency. He fought for the rightful king. He didn't betray his vows. He didn't abuse the weak. He didn't become bitter. In a world full of knights like Aerion Brightflame, cruel, arrogant, powerful, Arlen's quiet decency stands out. Why Sir Arlen matters more than we think. Here's the truth your audience needs to hear. Sir Arlen of Pennytree is not a failure. He is the proof that the system fails good men. And that's the tragedy at the heart of a Knight of the Seven Kingdoms. Westeros remembers champions, but history is shaped by teachers. Without Arlen, Dunk never becomes a knight. Egg never survives long enough to become Aegon Fife. The future of the realm changes. That is legacy. Not songs, not statues, but influence. Final thought. Sir Arlen died unknown, but his values didn't. And in George R. R. Martin's world, brutal, cynical, and unforgiving, that might be the most heroic thing of all.
I think it's over, but I'm not 100% sure, so it is. Okay, so let's go back to the live scene. All right, so I really liked that one. I thought it was a good way of looking at...
I cut stuff.
Of looking at Sir Arlen Pennytree. Like, because we definitely saw that, like, doubting in Dunk towards the end, but... like even in this episode, when he comes up, he is back to standing up for Sir Arlen Pennytree. He is back to saying this was a good man. This was a knight who did the right thing. This was a knight who taught me how to be a knight, who raised me. Like, that stuff all is very important. And I think it is a good way to look at it. Like, the people of Westeros want to look at him as kind of a nobody knight because he didn't have renown, because he hadn't made a name for himself. But for him, I would say that being a good knight wasn't about making a name for himself. It was about following that oath. It was about doing what you're supposed to do. Being there for the little people, helping the innocent, that kind of thing, not trying to make a big name for yourself and having the fanciest armor and winning in the lists and all of that. It was doing what you're supposed to do as a knight, following your oath and doing it well, even if you don't get renowned for it. So yeah, I really appreciated that look at that particular person and how they fit into all of this, and the reality that he is extremely important because Dunk is his legacy. Dunk would not be who he is if it were not for Sir Arlen of Pennytree. He would not be the same person. He wouldn't be in the same position. Like, all of the stuff that he taught him helped form who he is and make him into a better person. I am going to adjust my chat box now because it's just irritating me. I adjusted it on the intermission screen also. So now let's adjust it on here. Dun, 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 dun. There, that's better, I think. All right. Anyway, we have episode 5 coming up. It is the penultimate episode for the season, I believe. I'm not 100% sure on that. Let me double check things out. Make sure that I am right about that. Dun, 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 dun. Where episodes? This is 7. Am I wrong? Episode 6. Okay, so yeah. Episode 6 is the season finale. Episode 5 is the penultimate episode for the season. So next week is penultimate episode. That should happen on the usual day. So I will be going back to doing my live stream on Tuesdays. This week it's on Sunday just because of Super Bowl, just because they had adjusted the schedule. And if they hadn't done that, I probably wouldn't have even known about Super Bowl, except my husband likes to make chili on Super Bowl Sunday. It was just like something that we did. Like I said, back in the day, we used to put the Super Bowl on and we would watch the commercials. We would watch the halftime show. And we might go and try to look at what the score is at some point or another, but that was about it. We wouldn't watch the actual Super Bowl. Now it's harder for us to access the Super Bowl, so we don't even bother with that. We're like, forget it. Like, why do I care? Sometimes we'll go on the internet and look for some of the advertisements for the Super Bowl or look for the halftime show, but a lot of times we don't even do it during Super Bowl, so whatever. Anyway, like I said, we've got 2 more episodes. Episode 5 comes next Sunday, I believe, in the name of the Mother. And then the last episode doesn't have the name of it yet. So, and I'm thinking what they will probably do is split it up into the majority of the fight being in episode 5 and then the ending of the fight in episode 6. That's what I'm thinking. I can't say for sure. I don't remember exactly what happened at the end of the book. And how is it going to go? Well, from what I remember, there are some big twists and turns in this battle. Think of... Oh, God, what was that? Think of the fight with the mountain and... Oh, I can't remember his name. But either way, you probably know what I'm talking about if you've watched Game of Thrones. The the mountain ends up like fucking crushing the guy's eyeballs in. Think of that fight. Like, it had twists and turns. It looked like it was going very one way at a certain point. It looked like it was going another way at a certain point. The end, it really looks like the guy's gonna win, and he ends up getting completely killed because he's so focused on vengeance that he ends up letting this guy basically take over and kill him. Now, I would not think of it ending the same way. I'm just saying it will have twists and turns. That certain people that you don't want to get hurt are probably going to get hurt very badly. Certain people that you do want to get hurt are probably not going to get hurt very badly, and vice versa. And there will be death. There will be death. But I'm not going to say anything more because I don't want to completely spoil it. So, anyway, I look forward to seeing you next week if you're around. I know I'm not actually seeing anybody, and I know I'm usually the only one on here, but if somebody else wants to chime in, that's fine. And if you happen to see my video after the live stream is over, you can chime in the chat section. That is totally fine. I will answer. It may take me a day or two to respond, but I almost always respond to my comments. There are times where for some reason or another, the comments in my chat section do not show up for me in my comment section. I don't know what's up with that. But if it does get hidden like that and I don't see it in my notifications for my chats, then eventually I will probably, like, there was somebody who had responded to something from my Handmaid's Tale videos, like way back when, that was from 2 months ago. And I just responded to them because I didn't see their message until yesterday. There was another person that responded to one of my Bridgerton videos, and I had like waited to respond to them for a couple days because I've been very busy. And then when I came back to respond to them, the post was gone. I couldn't find it anywhere. So I'm like searching for it. I couldn't find it. I like went into the video and everything. I tried to remove the filter so it would pop up and nothing popped up. I checked to see if it was being held for some reason and it didn't pop up. But then the next day when I turned my computer back on, it was there. So then I was able to respond to her. But I'm telling you, like, I try to respond to anybody that messages me or chats with me. I try to respond to them within a day or two, but sometimes that stuff ends up missing. Like, I don't see it for some reason. There's been a couple times where I knew that there was a message where it said on the comment section that there was a comment, and you go in and you can't find it. There's definitely been a couple times. I know one time it was because they were just cussing and being vile, and so that ended up getting, I don't know, it got held, but it wouldn't even let me look at it. So yeah, just I do try to answer them though if anybody does decide to leave a comment. I also noticed when I was loading my videos today that there is a new feature to add quizzes at the on your video content, which I may start doing that. But when I was trying to do it today with one of my Bridgerton videos, it would not load the quiz up. So like it wouldn't load up to the point to where I could publish it. So I ended up having to back out of that and not post a quiz. But I am going to try again with one of my other videos and see if I can get it to post a quiz. Anyway, that's all I got for you right now. So I'll see you when I see you. Bye.